Good morning, everyone. It's Miss Gilmore here. Let's pick up with Ghost in the middle of page 115, and let's hope that better choices are in his future. After I left the store, I headed to stop 2, the bus stop. I took a seat next to an older woman. She was doing a crossword puzzle and humming a song I didn't recognize. She might have been making it up. It didn't sound bad, though. Across the street at the gym were all the people working out. The Walking Dead. Ha! That's what they look like. Anyway, I hung out there for a little while before moving on. When I got to Martin Luther King Park, I looked down at the track, and there wasn't nobody there except for a man jogging with his dog. But nobody else. No real runners. After that, there was really no place else to go but home, and I wasn't ready to go there yet, so I went to the basketball court. At the court, as usual, all the older guys were there running 5s for cash. I knew some of them just because they were always there playing, like Pop, who was probably in his 20s or something like that. I don't even think he was anybody's dad, but everybody called him Pop anyway. He was a short dude with crazy handles and a mean jumper. He was one of those guys who could do all the tricks and stuff. Shake you right out of your socks like it was nothing. And Sicko was there too, but luckily for me, he didn't have his crazy dog with him. Sicko wasn't really that good at basketball, but he was super rough. He probably should have been a football player or a wrestler. Big James was there too. He was like the best player ever to me. He looked like he really played pro ball. 6 feet something, all muscle. People always said Big James played college ball, but never went pro. I never knew what he did for a living. All I knew was that he was always at the court, dominating the game, taking everybody's money. So I guess basketball was what he did for a living after all. Besides the Hoopers, there were a whole bunch of other people at the court, just hanging out. Girls, some were the girlfriends of the guys playing, and others wanted to be the girlfriends of the guys playing. And junkies. They'd just be zombied out, roaming the outside of the court. They knew better than to mess up the game. They'd just walk along the out-of-bounds line like it was a tightrope waiting for Goose. Goose was the dope man, who also happened to be a pretty good ball player. Super flashy, but an all-around nice guy. Well, except for selling drugs. The court was where he served, in more ways than one. I chilled there for a while, watching Sicko push everybody around until what always happens happened. A fight. As usual. Stupid Sicko pushed the wrong guy, a guy I didn't know, and that guy pushed Sicko back, and then Pop got into it, and then Big James girl, and then some other girl, and then a junkie started howling like a wolf, and then I was out. By the time I made it home, I only had a little bit of time to kill before Coach picked me up. Just enough time to wash up, or as my mom says, splash some water on my hot spots, throw on some clean clothes, and give myself 2 spritzes of perfume. It was Ma's, and it smelled like flowers, but hey, so what? When Coach showed up, he hit the horn a few times, and when I didn't come right out, he hit it a few more times. I'm coming, I said, locking the door. Coach had his window down and was talking to Mr. Jefferson, the neighborhood sweeper. At least that's what we called him. He basically swept up the street every single day, but it didn't seem to ever really get clean. There was always glass or paper or, I don't know, a dirty couch. "What's up, y'all?" I said to Patty, who sat up front, and Lou, who was in the back with me. I wondered where Coach put all the junk that was usually in his cab. Probably in the trunk, which was a place I never, ever wanted to see. "What's up, man?" Lou said. "I've been around here before," Patty said, skipping the hello. "I can't remember when, but I know I've been around here." "Me too," Lou said. "Not really these parts. But my pops plays ball sometimes at the court down the street." "Oh, yeah? I play at that court." I lied. Man, I was getting smooth with the lies. "Just came from over there." Coach shook Mr. Jefferson's hand, then turned around to me. "Took you long enough." He tossed over his shoulder. Then he sniffed and sniffed and sniffed. "That's you smelling like flowers?" Coach asked Patty. "Nope, that's Pretty Boy back there," she said. "Who, Lou?" Coach adjusted his mirror. "No, the other one," Patty said, talking about me. I couldn't even believe she called me Pretty Boy. I squeezed my cheeks to crush my smile, and before Coach or Lou could say something slick, Patty added, "I like it. Smells good." One more stop before the Chinese food. We left Glass Manor and went to the other side of town, like the other side, where the houses have yards in the front and the back, where there are 2 or 3 floors and each kid has their own room. Even if there are like 5 kids, each one gets their own 4 walls, and everybody has a car or 2. And there are driveways to park those cars in, and there are also basketball courts in those driveways, the kind you can move around and adjust to make it low enough to dunk on. No wig shops, no fish markets, no Mr. Charles, which had to suck. And as we pulled up in front of Sonny's house, a big brick castle with an old rusty car in the driveway, I wondered why Sonny didn't act like the other people I'd met who lived in this neighborhood. He was cool. A little weird, but cool. Coach hit the horn. Sonny came right out, tall and awkward. He waved to us, that funny wave he always did. "Yo, Patty, you should get back here so Sonny can actually get his legs in the car," Lou suggested. I agreed. It didn't make sense for Sonny to be cramped up in the back with us. Plus, Sonny had already opened the back door on my side, and I just wasn't into sitting in the middle. "Yeah, Patty," I said. "That makes the most sense." "I don't care what y'all do. Just do it quick so we can go," Coach barked. Patty turned around and looked us up and down. "Ain't nobody sitting back there with y'all goons. I might get goon juice on me, and don't nobody want goon juice on them. What if I can't get it off me? Then what?" "Patty!" Lou yelped. Patty turned back around, ignoring him. "Patty, come on," I begged. "Seriously?" Lou whined. At this point, Sonny had already started stepping in, forcing me to scoot over to the middle. The middle sucks. It's where babies sit. I ain't no baby. Sonny crunched and scrunched his body until he got it all in there. It reminded me of this dude, Yogi Laser, I read about, who holds the record for having the fastest time to cram into a box. Crazy. Sonny's knees were smashed against Patty's seats, and he had no place to put his arm, so he had to put it around me. It was all just ridiculous. Once Sonny closed the door, which took 3 tries, Patty and Coach turned around to look at us. "Aw, look at y'all, bonding like brothers," Coach jabbed. "Or like clowns," Patty followed with a hook. "Just drive, please," I groaned, seeing Sonny smiling away like nothing was wrong, out of the corner of my eye. Chapter 8. World Record for Having the Best Secret. Thankfully, it didn't take long to get to the Chinese restaurant. After we finished staring at the big orange and white fish swimming around in a giant tank in the waiting area, we found out Coach had our seats prearranged. He and Sonny sat on one side of the booth, and me, Lou, and Patty sat on the other side. The weird red vinyl seats oinked as we all shuffled in. "Okay, so you guys, pick anything you want on the menu." Coach unbuttoned the top button of his shirt. "Anything at all. We're here to celebrate the newbies." I didn't know how anybody else felt about picking anything on the menu, but I almost flipped out. I was so excited. I mean, I had been eating hospital food almost every day during the week for I don't even know how long. I guess since my dad had been gone. So this was going to be heaven. We all checked out our menus, way more than what I usually see when me, Mom, King, and Aunt Sophie order in on the weekends. Me and Mom always get shrimp fried rice, and Sophie gets crab sticks, which I always thought was a weird choice. And King 9 times out of 10 orders a cheeseburger with 2 egg rolls. And when the food comes, me and King always throw the fortune cookies at each other and try to whack them into pieces with the chopsticks. "Is everyone ready to order?" A waitress had come over, pad in hand, to scribble whatever we said. "I am," Coach said. "Me too," Patty said, closing her menu. I was ready too. Lou looked like he was still thinking about it, but we figured he'd be ready by the time the waitress got to him. "I'll have the shrimp lo mein," Coach said, with a Sprite. "Sesame chicken," from Patty. "And to drink, do you have cherry Coke?" "Cherry Coke?" Lou balked. "Who drinks cherry Coke?" "I do," Patty said, holding her hand in front of his face to shut him up. The waitress thought about it. "I can put some cherry juice in a regular Coke. How about that?" "Perfect," Patty said, smiling. Lou moved her hand away. "And for you?" The waitress was talking to him now. "Oh, I'm not ready," he said, picking up his menu again. "Go ahead, Ghost." "I'm going to have the Peking duck, please, and a lemonade." "Peking duck?" Lou asked Lou again. "Not Peking," Sonny said. Peking. "I'll have that too, please. And to drink? Sparkling water, please." "Y'all are the fanciest newbies I ever met," Coach said. He moved his silverware and chopsticks off his napkin, then put the napkin in his lap. "Are you ready now?" the waitress asked Lou again. "Yeah," You ready? Patty repeated way harder than the super soft-spoken waitress. There's just so many options, but I think I'm just going to have shrimp fried rice, Lou said. Shrimp fried rice? From Coach. After all that, you order shrimp fried rice? From Patty. Good choice, from Sonny, nicing it up as usual. The waitress disappeared with our menus. That's when Coach started his boring speech about how proud he was to have us all on the team and how great the season was going to be. He said we all showed promise. Well, that was something I had never heard before, that I was showing promise. Then he started dishing dirt about some of the other teammates. Not really dirt, just funny stuff they'd never tell us. Like how Crystal's speed used to be Crystal no speed. He said she used to run like her feet were made of cement. Now she's better. He also said Mikey has always been kind of tough. Comes from a military family. Coach said his father makes him salute and everything. Aaron is the oldest of a whole bunch of brothers and sisters, so he's always annoyed at everybody on the track team, but can't help but take care of everyone, which is why he's the captain. Right when he was telling us about how Kieran Outlaw was the king of the false start last year, our waitress returned to the table with our food. Yes, it was time to go. It was go time, and I was ready. I had even made up in my mind that no matter how good the food was, I would save some for Ma. I mean, it wasn't every day we ate duck. Matter of fact, we never ate duck. So yeah, I was definitely going to save her some. We all put our napkins in our laps like Coach did. And as the lady set the plates in front of us, piled up with Chinese goodness, Coach quickly gathered all of our forks and knives. He even snatched our chopsticks. Okay, newbies, here's the deal, he said, clenching our utensils. In order for you to get your silverware back so that you can enjoy this amazing food, you have to tell everybody one thing about yourself that most people don't know. Something good. Wait, what? Patty said, looking longingly at her sesame chicken. I stared at my duck, the smell of it doing all kinds of cartwheels and backflips in my nostrils. Oh, man. It's tradition, Coach explained. So, who's first? Me, Lou offered, staring at his fried rice like it wasn't fried rice. I'm starving, so I'll go first. Coach shifted one fork, one spoon, one knife, and one set of chopsticks in his right hand. The rest were in his left. He held Lou's utensils up and smiled. Let's hear it. Lou looked off as if his secret was on the other side of the restaurant, or in the big fish tank. Okay, we're going to have to wait until next week to hear everyone's secrets. What will go share? He's got some rather serious secrets.